As you can imagine, CSLB receives hundreds, if not thousands of documents every day, and we process them in order as they receive. So be sure to take the extra time getting the application right so we don't have to send it back to you to correct and then have to start the processing process again. When your application has been accepted, CSLB will send you a notice to appear for examination and a study guide. You should get your exam notice at least 3 weeks prior to your exam date. When CSLB test centers reopen, we added additional test sessions in the late afternoon to early evening at most locations to help us catch up with the months we were closed. CSLB has 7 test centers throughout California and encourages candidates to take their exam at their nearest test center.
If you're an applicant whose first language is not English and you don't feel confident taking your exam in English, we do allow you to bring your own translator. The translator that you provide simply reads the examination questions for you. Question number 16 on your application asks if you would like to use a translator to complete the examination. The translator must be approved by CSLB in advance. You cannot just show up on the day of your examination with somebody ready to translate the examination for you. Make sure they are approved in advance. When you get an exam date, make sure you do not miss it. If you fail to appear for your examination, you're going to have to pay a non-refundable $60 rescheduling fee. That fee may be waived once if you provide documented evidence of a medical emergency or other circumstance beyond your control. Also, we have study guides available for each of our exams. Included in each study guide, you will find a list of sections and topics covered by the exam. They also include sample questions, how each section of the exam is weighted, and recommended resources that you can use to prepare for the examination. These study guides are available online on our website. There's a bonus link to them on the bottom of our screen. So there's a link there to the study guides, but you can also go on our website and just in the search engine type study guides, and you'll be able to find a study guide for each classification. We have one for the business and law and then one for each classification that we provide.
Here is a look at 2 of those study exams. The first is the law and business exam, which all qualifiers must take, no matter which license classification, including the D-Series limited classes. You can see the guide contains a breakdown of examination topics, some test strategies, sample questions, and resources that were used to help create that exam. You will see the same format on the B, General Building Study Guide. We would recommend that you really pay attention to the exam content here, especially how we have broken down what percentage of questions there will be on each of the 5 topics on the exam. You will also note on the lower right of both of these 2 slides, you will see bonus links to the actual study guide, as well as a link to the complete list of study guides.
So right now we do have COVID-19 procedures in place for the test centers. Here they are. You want to plan to arrive at least 15 minutes early for your exam. Give yourself extra time to get checked in. You must wear a face mask or other face covering. If you appear ill, you will have to reschedule your exam for at least 5 days later at no additional charge. And you will not be admitted into the test center more than 15 minutes prior to your exam time. We also have produced a short what to expect from testing video that you can watch on our YouTube channel if you'd like. The link is here at the bottom of your screen.
You will take your exam on a touch-screen computer. Before starting, you will see an on-screen tutorial that will take you through the process. The exam itself consists of multiple choice questions. You will also see a space on each question where you can, if you want, submit a comment about that question. You will get 3.5 hours to complete each exam. Don't arrive late, or that may reduce the amount of time you get to complete your exam. You will get your results at the end of the exam. If you don't pass the exam, you will not be allowed to review the questions you missed but you will get a statement showing how you did on each section of the exam. You can reschedule the exam as many times as you need to within the 18 months period, as long as you pay the non-refundable $60 rescheduling fee each time.
So after you pass your exam, what happens next? First, you'll need to pay the $200 for your initial licensing fee, which will be good for 2 years. You'll also need to complete the online asbestos open book exam. Plus, you'll need to file your required $15,000 contractor surety bond, and possibly some other bonds depending on what type of entity you're selecting. You'll need to get your required insurance policy as well. If you have employees, you'll need to get the workers' compensation insurance. If you're going to be an LLC, you'll also need liability insurance. See our website for more information. Please note that your insurance company or broker can submit your insurance information directly to CSLB on our website. If you don't have employees, you must file a workers' comp exemption form with CSLB. You can do that online as well.
In about 5 to 10 business days, CSLB will send you a wall certificate and plastic pocket license card. Display the wall certificate in your main office or chief place of business. Carry your pocket card with you, especially in situations where you are going to solicit business, talk to potential customers, or sign contracts. We encourage consumers to ask you to see your pocket license. If you are going to have salespeople working for you, be sure to get them registered as a home improvement salesperson with CSLB. Check our website for more on how to do that. Your license will be good for 2 years. It will expire on the last day of the month when it was issued. For example, a license issued today, January 8, 21, will expire on January 30th, 2023. Be sure to put that expiration date on your calendar, in your phone, anywhere you need so you won't forget it. CSLB will send you a renewal notice in the mail approximately 60 days before it expires, but ultimately it is your responsibility to renew your license on time.
So here are a couple of other important deadlines to keep in mind. First, notify CSLB within 30 days if you move or change your business address. Your renewal notice is going to be sent to the address that's on record, and so we want to make sure that we have the correct address for you. If you're not there anymore, then you're probably not going to get it. The Postal Service will not forward state government mail. Finally, notify CSLB within 30 days of all changes to your personnel on the license, especially when it involves a qualifier of the license.
Once you get your license and get to work, you might want to hire someone as a salesperson to solicit, sell, negotiate home improvement contracts on your behalf outside of your place of business. These people are called home improvement salesperson, or HIS. Without an HIS, the official personnel of record on a license are the only ones that can solicit, sell, negotiate, or execute a contract. That includes individual contractors, license qualifiers, partners, corporation officers, and LLC responsible managing officers, members, managers, or employees. An HIS can work for more than one contractor. The license must notify CSLB in writing when they either associate or disassociate a home improvement salesperson with their license.
So there are a couple of exceptions for that. Those who only schedule appointments for registered HIS and a bona fide service and repair people. Those are the people that you call out for repairs, including things like air conditioning, heating, and plumbing. So they would be exempt. Those service and repair people, though, are limited to the work that was initially requested by the homeowner or by the buyer. For example, if let's say your AC goes out and you call an HVAC company to come out and they send a service person, they don't have to be a registered salesperson. But if they go beyond the repair itself and then they want to sell you a whole new system, that person would have to be a registered HIS. Just as a reminder, don't employ an unregistered salesperson. That's going to subject you to administrative discipline, and also the salesperson might get a citation or possibly even a criminal misdemeanor. We've got bonus links at the bottom of this page here if you want to look at the actual code sections of law. Okay, so that does conclude our presentation. Now it's time to answer your questions. We're going to answer the questions that are in the Q&A. I see that some of you are sending them through chat. You want to make sure you send them to the Q&A so that we can see them. Okay, send them to the Q&A, all panelists, and we'll get to your questions. Okay, so we'll start now. Let's see. So it looks like, yeah, we're continuing to get them through chat. Make sure that you send them to the Q&A, guys. Okay, first question. My contractor won't sign me for the 4 years of experience because he doesn't want me to leave his company. What can I do? So as we learned through the presentation, the person who certifies your work experience doesn't necessarily have to be the contractor that you worked for. It can be somebody who knows that you have journeyman level experience. For example, a coworker, or if you're part of a union, it can be somebody there. We talked about the different categories that that person can be. So it doesn't have to be the contractor that you necessarily work for. Next question is, I am an individual who is looking forward to starting a business in insulation and would like to get licensed to start my own business with 6 years experience. Would I be disqualified because I am an individual? You want to answer that one, Fode? It's the one that we received at 10:10 a.m. So, do you see it?
Yeah, you mean for being individual? No, you can submit application for a sole ownership entity. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, so an individual can get a license. So it would be a sole ownership license.
Yes.
Okay. What does a criminal background check look for? So we kind of went over that in our presentation as well. And again, we mentioned how CSLB has only denied 1% of the applications. Of all of the applications we receive, only 1% gets denied for the criminal background. We're looking for construction-related crimes. So can I substitute school with experience credit? We also mentioned that you can get up to 3 years experience. It's not given on a year-to-year basis, but you can get up to 3 years experience. We went over that extensively. Next one, talking about the apprenticeship programs. I completed 4 years of apprenticeship. So again, we also do, we talked about that. It says, how do I provide this for credit? So any apprenticeship programs, you want to submit the certificate of completion along with your application. And once we receive your application, they will let you know how much experience they're going to give you for any education that you're submitting. Next question says, qualifier with RME mean that you would hire a licensed personnel as an employee? Do they need to have ownership in the company? Do you see that one, Fode? We got it at 10:22. I think they're asking, what does an RME mean?
RME is responsible managing employee. Is the employee of your company, of that entity, they cannot have any ownership in the company. So their ownership has to be 0 for the RME.
Next, my DBA is a set of initials. My application was returned to me for corrections, saying the initials in your business name cannot represent any individuals not listed on the application personnel, but the initials do represent me. Do I have to change them?
No, if they actually represent you, just I'm sure they send you a form, or you can just put it on a piece of paper. You explain what those initials are, and if they're matching yours, they would move forward with it. Just explain to us what they are for. That'll be fine if they are your initials.
Next, bachelor's degree in unrelated major count as experience. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to submit your sealed transcript with your application, and then once a technician gets a chance to review it, they will let you know how much credit they can give you. You want to add anything to that, Phil?
No, that's it. That pretty much covered it.
Okay.
Send us the transcripts, we go from there.
Okay, and we have the screen up now that you can see basically how much experience we're looking. Can you elaborate on the owner builder work experience sample? So owner builder, you would only need to fill out that form if you're trying to get a general construction B license. So if you're trying to get that and you want experience for projects that you've done on your own property, you can submit that form. Now, if somebody says, well, it took me 4 years to build a house, will I get 4 years of credit? That's all I need? Not necessarily. That's not the way it works. So you want to go ahead and fill out the form, send it in, and then we will let you know how much experience you can receive for that. Okay, and it has to be verifiable. It has to be something that we can verify with work permits, with final inspections, things of that nature. How long does it take to get a response regarding the application status? Both?
Right now, for original exam application, we are about 6 to 8 weeks, to get to it. So that's about how long it takes before we initially touch the application, process it, and if we need anything to reach out to you. So I would say about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, so you can expect 6 to 8 weeks. We also have processing times that we update on our website. So if you want to see what date we're working on, you can always look on our website as well.
Correct.
Hello, can you paste the link where I can download the PowerPoint? So you can view this. It is being recorded. You can view it on our YouTube channel. Can a contractor certifier be from another state than California? On the certification, it asks for a license number. Should that show the license number from the state from where the certifier is? So do you want to answer that one?
That would be helpful because we do check just to verify that. So yeah, that would be helpful. It can be from another state. If they're a contractor, you want to put their license number, that would be fine.
So if we have 4 years of experience from our own home, we just need to substantiate with permits. No, what you would want to do, you would want to fill out the form, and then we will let you know once we receive it. They will let you know how many years of experience or how much time of experience that they're going to grant you for your own project. It's not necessarily year to year. Next question. I've worked in finished carpentry, but the company closed over 10 years ago. I've continued doing small work since then that didn't require permits. How would that work for me? You want to answer that one, Fud?
Sure. You would still need 4 years of experience in last 10 years. So even if it wasn't with the contractor, you did it as a self-employed, we would still need a certification of work experience. You can find folks to certify you if you work for different, customers. They can certify you as long as the total is 4 years in the last 10 years.
Okay. How would we know how many credits we will be given or need if we have a combination of education and work experience? So just know that the maximum that you can get is 36 months worth of education credit. And you can see the screen. We have the screen up now that kind of gives you an idea of how many months credit you would receive. It's not necessarily given on a month-to-month basis. So you want to make sure that you have enough hands-on experience, practical experience to cover it. What we're looking for is 48 months in the last 10 years. Okay. Thank you for the information today. Very informative. I will be applying with owner-builder experience of well over 10 years and 10 projects completed. Who is best to certify my experience? So who would best certify their experience?
Well, who has observed you? Did you use other SOP or inspectors? Anyone who has observed you performing the work yourself, it can certify you. If you look at our certification of work experience, the relationship between certifier and you can see different titles over there. So anyone who has observed you to do the work and can certify to it can certify you.
Okay. Does CSLB provide seminars or resources that give information on creating a business entity? Do I have to create a business entity prior to applying and taking license exams? Where can I get advice as to which entity would be best? Okay, so first, does CSLB provide seminars? Unfortunately, we do not. We don't provide information on business entities. Do I have to create a business entity? Let's say a business entity, we mentioned we have sole ownerships, we have corporations, we have LLCs and partnerships. So that would be your business entity. So you get to select which one you are applying for. If it's a sole ownership and you want, and that's all, that's fine. If you go with the LLC or with the corporation, you would first have to register that corporation or LLC with the Secretary of State, and they will give you a registration number. You would then use that registration number on your application. But if you're just doing sole ownership, you don't have to do that. Okay. Next question. How long after passing the test do I need to purchase a bond? Or when exactly do I have to purchase the bond? Vote.
Yeah, I would recommend you, after you pass the test, you will get a piece of paper, a letter, after that, it gives you the requirements for the issuance. At that time is a good time to start purchasing your bond, after you pass the test and you receive that letter with the requirements.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Let's see. How long is the current application processing times? So like I mentioned, on our website, you can find different processing times. Fode mentioned that if you mail in your application today, you can expect a response within 6 to 8 weeks. Experience needed. Would a civil engineering BS degree or working 1.5 years of general contractor license be sufficient experience time for general contractor license B or license A? Fode? Yes. It's 1.5 years of experience with a BS degree.
Yeah, the civil engineering for A or B, would get you 36 months. So yeah, that's 1.5 year experience, and the degree is fine. That would be 4 years.
Okay. Aside from on-hand work experience, would construction management tasks also count as relevant experience, such as estimating, budget preparation, project control, scheduling, and safety management? Yes, project construction management tasks do count into the 4 years of experience. Just make sure that your certifier is very detailed on what experience you had. You do need to have the hands-on work experience as well, but just be very detailed. The certifier needs to be very detailed on what duties you perform. When can I apply for a waiver if I have been working on what I'm trying to get licensed for?
Well, just for having the experience doing the work you do, there is no waiver. The waiver comes after you actually get the license. Once you get that classification, then when you have apply for other entities, you get the waiver. But just working, being eligible, does not give you a waiver. You have to take the exam.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question. The license cost is $15,000? No, the license cost is not $15,000. What's $15,000 is your bond amount. You need a bond in $15,000, and the way the bond works, it's very similar to car insurance. So you let the bond company, and you can choose a bond company of your choosing. You let them know that you need $15,000 worth of coverage, just like you would with your car insurance. And then they will charge you a premium. They're going to charge you an annual premium or a monthly premium. They'll let you know how much it is. but the coverage has to be in the amount of 15,000. Not that that's what you're going to pay or anything like that. They'll just charge you a monthly fee. Okay. Can I waive the testing since I have the experience?
No, that's the simple answer. You can check our law book is Business Professional Code of 7065.1. Those are the only waivers that CSLB grants. So if you want to do some reading, 7065.1 is the code. But just because for experience, you do not get waiver.
In fact, you have to have the experience in order to be able to take the examination. So
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, license exams. Are there any exam preparation courses that CSLB has partners with or CSLB suggests? Actually, we don't partner with any of the schools. We have heard that some schools are very helpful. Some courses can be helpful to passing the examination. Others tell us that they're not. So it just depends. You can definitely take them. They're not a requirement. The only thing that CSLB offers is the study guides that we mentioned in our presentation. You can go on our website, in the search engine, type study guides, and you'll be able to see the different study guides for every classification. So look for the classifications. Make sure you're going to take 2 exams, right? You're going to do the law and business, and then you're going to take your trade exam. So you're going to want to download 2 of the study guides and just look them over. And it does have helpful information on the back. It does offer resources, books, websites that you can start to look at now in order to prepare for the examination. Okay. Next, I'm a little bit confused about the qualifier. Can the qualifier be different than the RME?
The qualifier is the person who has the experience and sits for the exams and get that classification. Now, a license could have a qualifier that is not like the licensed owner. For example, I'm a sole owner and I have this entity, but I don't have the experience, and I bring someone else. I call it RME, Responsible Managing Employee. That person would be my qualifier. It qualifies the classification for my license. So the RME and qualifier are really one, but qualifier can have different titles for different entities. RME is one of them. For example, for corporation can be RMO, which is Responsible Managing Officer. For LLC could be RMM, which is Responsible Managing Member. But RME could be on all of these because it's just an employee. I hope that answers the question.
And I think sometimes people get a little confused. If you have the experience yourself, then you don't need an RME. You don't need a different qualifier. You would be the qualifier. You have the experience. You would only need an RME if you didn't meet the 4 years of experience. You would hire somebody as an employee that had the experience. So that's when you would need an RME. Can a Texas bond qualify for the surety and contractor bond in California? So can a Texas bond qualify for a surety, or does it have to be a California company?
I have to check that one. I'm pretty sure they have to be registered here in California. I'm pretty sure. So okay. If they're registered here in California, they should be able to issue, with the Department of Insurance. They have to be registered here.
Okay, so as long as they're registered here, it doesn't matter where they're located.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Anna and Fode. What if all my work experience has been all done at home? Well, if you only have work that's done at home and it can't be verified, obviously we need 4 years of experience within the last 10 years, and it has to be verifiable work. So if you've never had actual hands-on experience that can be certified, it's not going to be, you're going to want to wait to apply until you can prove that you have 48 months of experience within the last 10 years and somebody can certify that experience. You have to have a way of proving or documenting your experience.
And we only allow working on your home for B, general building.
Okay. To certify some of my work experience for a C10, to certify my work experience for a C10, can I submit the owner builder form if I did the electrical for my home permitted? And folks just answered that. No, that form is only for those applying for a B license, not the C10.
Correct.
Do I qualify as an owner builder if I'm the CEO of a corporation and I personally oversaw the construction of the property?
No.
No.
Again, it's you have to perform yourself or have like laborers and you supervise laborers. Once you start contracting out, then your eligibility goes out.
What liability does a Class B general building contractor have for verifying appropriate licenses for subcontractors? Is there any easy way to check license here in California? So yes, if you are a B general contractor and you're going to be hiring subcontractors, it is your responsibility to make sure that you hire licensed subcontractors and that they are properly licensed in the correct classification. If we receive a complaint from a homeowner against one of your subcontractors, we actually advise the contractor, the homeowner, that they have to file the complaint against the general, because the general is the one that CSLB holds accountable. So when you are hiring subcontractors, it's very important that you make sure that, one, they are properly licensed, and two, licensed in the correct classification that they're working in. And you can do that right on our website. On CSLB website, we have a check the license feature. You put in the license number or the person's name, and it will tell you if their license is in good standing. It will also, it provides a lot of information. It's very useful. So you'll want to check out that feature, but it will tell you what license classifications they hold. Can we get a copy of the slides and recording of this presentation? Yes, we answered that. Yes, you can. Will a bond be required for a specialty license? Yes, a bond is always required. The $15,000 bond is for all licenses. Next question. Could you elaborate a bit more on the difference between the legal abilities of a Class A and a Class B license? So what's the difference between A and a B?
A and a B. A is mostly working on the fixed work projects, for example, dams, power plants, airports, high rises. And Class B is for the structures and being built for, like habitat, to create a habitat. So that's pretty much is the difference. Class B is for buildings for habitat. Class A is fixed works that required engineering skills, special engineering skills.
And as a reminder, we mentioned we do have a classification booklet that you can access online, and it will let you know what jobs can be done with each classification. So if you have any questions about the description, what kind of work you can do, you can look up both the Class A and the Class B for more information. Okay, for the application, if there are 4 partners, but only one person will take the exam, do all 4 need to be listed on the license, or just the qualifier? So all 4 would need to be listed, but you would indicate who is the qualifier. So especially if it's you said it's a partnership. So yes, you'll want to include all 4. We talked about the different sections where their names go, but you want to list the qualifier, tell us who the qualifier is, and everybody else goes in the different sections. Okay? Since all permits are received with the name of the corporation, what documentation do I need to satisfy the work experience qualification? I don't think that, I'm not sure what you're asking. You don't need to submit any permits with your work experience qualification. The work experience, the way it works is you're going to have somebody of your choosing fill out the work certification. The work experience certification form. So the certifier certifies that you have work experience. That's the first step. We will contact you if we need any additional information. And we did talk about the supporting documentation that you can provide. There's not just one thing. There's different forms, variety of documentation that you can provide to prove the 4 years of experience. Can you explain what a DBA is, folks?
Doing business as, for example, is what you have to do business as. Like for example, you send a application. It says FODS Construction Incorporated, and then you're going for plumbing. So I say, okay, you can't use construction. You have to use something that goes for plumbing. So what you do, you say FODS Construction Inc., DBA, doing business as, FODS Plumbing. So now from there on, whether you have to use the doing business as part of it or the complete, you cannot just use the first part of it. That would be the DBA, doing business as.
Okay, next question. What if the qualifier rejects to sign or provide proof of experience? Then the qualifier, then that person can't be the qualifier. If it says rejects to sign, I'm assuming sign the application. They cannot, a qualifier is a person who's going to take the examination and the person with the experience. So if they're refusing to sign the application, they can't be the qualifier.
Yep.
Okay. My father is not a licensed contractor, but does have a business license. I have been working for him for many years until now. Can I use this as work experience in my application?
And I cannot approve or not approve you here, so please submit your application and we will look at it and let you know. If you have work, if you have done the work, we will definitely look at it. So submit the application.
And just keep in mind, we understand that a lot of our employees, or our applicants, have received the experience by being self-employed as well. And maybe they had cash pay. Maybe they don't have pay stubs that they can provide. But there are other documentation that you can submit. And so we do encourage you to apply and list that information and work with our licensing staff to see if it's something that would qualify you. If you are certain that you have the experience at a journeyman level, we just need to be able to verify it. If you go to the sole ownership route, does that business have to be registered with the state before you use it to apply for your contractor license? So, sole ownership, do they have to be registered?
Well, those are you have to check with your city and county rules. We don't require that, but you have to check with your local agencies. Most of them require you to register your business name.
Is the business law exam and trade exam administered at the same time or two different test dates? So you'll get one test date. Each exam takes about 3.5 hours. And so you'll come in, let's say you come in at 8 o'clock, take the first exam, and then at 11:30 you can take the second exam. Or if you're done earlier and you want to start it sooner, you can do that as well. So yes, you would take both exams on the same date. If you prefer to only take one exam, you can do that, but there is a $60 rescheduling fee for you to come back to take the second exam. If I worked part-time, how much experience is necessary?
It's, just, for example, the part-time is look at different ways, up to you. If, for example, you work 4 years part-time, if it was a half day, so that would be 2 years. If you work like 3 weeks of the month and then not 1 week, like 3 weeks out of each month, then that would be a third of, each year. So it's up to you. But if you put part-time, don't put in the whole amount. So for example, if you put from 2016 to 2020, you work part-time, don't put 4 years in the total. Your part-time has to be less than that. So you tell me how much of that part-time you work. It's not necessarily half. It could be, less than half, more than half, but it cannot be full amount of time.
Okay. It says a prep class is not required, but I was wondering if digital constructive is a good prep class. Well, it depends what you're going for. Like we're not associated with any of the schools. If you feel that it's something that would benefit you, we encourage you to do that, but it's not a requirement. We are not associated with any of the prep classes. Within each license, A, B, or C, there are different levels of experience. Supervisor, journeyman, what are the significance of these? Can you explain? What we look for is journeyman level experience. That's what you have to have. What we were talking about is if you're a supervisor, there's different ways that you can demonstrate your experience. But no, the experience is the same. The experience requirement is 4 years of journeyman level experience within the last 10 years. CSLB defines journeyman level experience where you can complete that project from beginning to end with minimal supervision, little to no supervision. That's what journeyman level experience, that's what we're looking for. Do I need to retake the exams when I want to renew my license?
Well, if your license has been expired more than 5 years, then you will, and you have not held that classification in that 5 years, yes. But no, if you're just renewing your license, for every 2 years, no. The only time you do that if 5 years has passed and past your last time you held classification, then you have to take the exam. Otherwise, no.
If you have a criminal background, can you get a C10 license? Okay, so everybody who's listed on the license will have to submit a full set of fingerprints. We talked about that, right? Everybody's going to do the live scan. We are looking for certain offenses, so it depends. You can go back through and review that section. We are looking for certain, and we only go back so far. So you want to review that section on the presentation that we gave. Do you have anything to add to that, folks?
No, it's fine.
Yeah. As we mentioned, only 1% of the applications we receive are denied. But yeah, depending on what you have on there, and you can go to the Department of Justice and request your backgrounds to see what's on there. It just depends. It depends what's on there. Okay, and you can request that way you know ahead of time before you apply if it's something that you're worried about. Can an independent construction manager getting a 1099 from a GC get the GC to sign off the experience?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, I can. I'm a spa repair and maintenance guy. I'm looking to get a contractor's license. If a family member of mine is going to be the person that takes the calls and requests for repairs, do they need to be an HIS?
If they are working from your business address, just making calls and requests, no. But if they actually go to the customer's house, yes, they would have. So if they're just sitting there answering phones, no, they don't need HIS.
Next question. Can a translator be related to you for exam day? Yes, the translator is anybody that you choose. The way you let us know that you want a translator is on the application. Question number 16 asks if you would like to use a translator. Once you mark that box yes, what happens next is we send you an application. It's a one-form, simple application that the person who is going to be your translator needs to fill out. And it's asking them things like, have they been a translator for anybody else within the last 12 months? That would disqualify them. Do they have a license themselves? They can't be a licensed contractor to be your translator. Things like that. It's just very basic. But if they pass all the questions, then they can be your translator. We will let you know that they're approved, and then we'll set you up for a date for both of you to come in to take the exam. What if I only want the sheet metal license?
That would be C43. So
the same rules apply. All the rules apply for all the licenses. There aren't any special rules for certain licenses. All licenses have the same rules. Same work experience rules. To pull a commercial tenant improvement permit, do you need a B license or C license? To pull a commercial tenant improvement permit, do you need a B or a C license?
Well, that one you should work with your permit department because they determine what permit you would need.
So you want to talk to your building department, your local building department?
Yeah.
Okay. Is a BA in engineering equivalent to a BA in construction management?
No.
Okay.
No, they get different credits. So.
Okay. If license would be under a partnership, who takes the exam? So the qualifier would take the exam. You will let us know who the qualifier is. You're going to list them in the qualifier section. That is a person who has the 4 years experience. That's the person who takes the examination. Can I submit work experience as it is being acquired, or do I have to wait until all 4 are done? So,
you can submit your application when you already have completed 4 years of experience.
mm-hmm.
So once you have all 4 years in last 10 years experience, then you can submit your application.
As far as qualifying hours, does overtime count? Example, working 3 years, 12-hour days, does that count as 4 years of experience?
No, we cannot give you more experience than day to day. So 1 day experience, doesn't matter how many hours you work, is 1 day experience. In 1 year, we cannot give you more than 1 year experience because you work 4 hours. So day to day.
Okay. Can I have a C-27 and a nonprofit community garden at the same time? I am applying for my license. I've never seen that one. So can they have a C-27 license, which is a landscaping license, and a nonprofit community garden at the same time?
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, I don't think that there would be a conflict. You can have a C-27, and if it's a nonprofit community garden, I don't think that there's a conflict, but you would want to, the C-27, you would just apply for a C-27 license, I believe, the landscaping license. So, I don't see the conflict, do you, Food?
I don't see that, no.
No.
I don't see, no.
Okay, I already sent in the extra $200. What happens next?
And I already sent in. Okay, that one, another one of those dates that we have with the dates that we are working on. Initial licensing fee or issuance is another one of those. So once we get that, usually takes about 2 weeks or so before we get to it and process it. And then once we process, if we need anything else like bonds or anything else is still missing, we will let you know to provide those at that time.
Okay. As a commercial construction superintendent, can I have my project manager qualify my work experience? If your project manager has knowledge that you have journeyman level experience, 4 years within the last 10 years, they can qualify you. They need to fill out your work certification form.
Yes.
Okay. Next question. Good morning. First, I want to thank everyone who makes this workshop possible. My question is, how do surety bonds work? I need to pay the full amount, or is it like a monthly payment? Thank you. We kind of talked about that. A bond works just like your car insurance. So you let them know what kind of coverage you need. You need $15,000 worth of coverage, and then they will let you know what your annual premium is. And then you make that payment. And the bond really is a protection for our contractors. The way it works is, let's say a homeowner is not happy with the work that was done. We encourage them, if they submit a complaint, we encourage them to file a bond claim. They'll file a claim against the bond. Instead of suing you, they'll go against the bond. And usually what the bond company does is they're supposed to send out their own inspector to check out the work that you've done. If they agree with the work that you've done, it was done to workmanship standards, then they deny that claim. But if, let's say they see that there were some workmanship issues, then they would pay out that bond claim. So it's just a protection for you. It's an extra level of protection so that they're not suing you personally. That's how they work. Okay. Can I submit work experience as an owner builder for the Class C license?
No.
We talked about that. Owner builder is only for B, not C. If I have a special business license with my business name already and have been fingerprinted, do I need to get fingerprinted again for a C-27 contractor license?
No, if you already have your fingerprints on our records, no, you don't have to be fingerprinted again.